Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the concrete jungle itself, New York City. But we're not just looking at the famous landmarks. We're exploring the very fabric of the city, the public spaces that define it. How did this sprawling metropolis become the vibrant, complex, and iconic place we know today? It all comes down to visionary design, incredible engineering, and a constant push to reinvent itself. From sprawling green oases to the steel arteries connecting its boroughs, let's uncover the stories behind the public spaces that truly shaped New York. Our story begins in the mid-19th century, a time when New York was rapidly expanding. The city was a chaotic grid of stone and industry, and its leaders realized people needed an escape. They needed nature. Enter Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. Their vision, a massive, man-made landscape right in the heart of Manhattan. This wasn't just about planting a few trees. This was about crafting an experience. Central Park was a revolutionary idea. It was designed to be a democratic space, a place where people from all walks of life could come together and find tranquility away from the city's relentless pace. Olmsted was a genius of landscape architecture. He didn't want the park to feel artificial. He used rolling hills, winding paths, and carefully placed bodies of water, like the lake and the reservoir, to create a sense of natural, untamed wilderness. He masterfully separated different types of traffic. Think about the transverse roads, sunk below the park's surface, allowing commercial vehicles to pass through without ever disrupting the peaceful atmosphere above. It was a brilliant solution that preserved the park's idyllic character. He envisioned the park as the lungs of the city, a vital organ for public health and well-being. And today, with over 40 million visitors a year, Central Park remains one of the greatest triumphs of urban planning in history. It's more than just a park. It's a testament to the idea that even in the densest of cities, nature and humanity can coexist beautifully. Now, let us shift our focus from the green heart of Manhattan to the steel sinews that bind the city together. Before 1883, Brooklyn and Manhattan were two separate cities, divided by the East River. The only way to cross was by a slow and often unreliable ferry. The solution was a project of unprecedented scale and ambition, the Brooklyn Bridge. The bridge's chief engineer, John Roebling, was a visionary who pioneered the use of steel cables on a massive scale. Tragically, he died from an accident before construction even began. His son, Washington Roebling, took over, dedicating his life to completing his father's dream. The construction was an epic saga of human ingenuity and sacrifice. Workers toiled in dangerous underwater caissons, pressurized chambers dug into the riverbed to build the tower foundations. Many suffered from caisson disease, what we now know as decompression sickness. Washington Roebling himself became paralyzed from the condition and had to supervise the rest of the construction from his apartment window, relaying instructions through his incredible wife, Emily Warren Roebling. Emily became the de facto chief engineer, mastering civil engineering principles and managing the project on site for over a decade. When the bridge finally opened, it was hailed as the eighth wonder of the world. Its majestic Gothic towers and intricate web of steel cables weren't just functional, they were beautiful. The bridge became a powerful symbol of American ambition and technological prowess. It physically and symbolically united the city, paving the way for the creation of Greater New York in 1898. The elevated promenade, designed for pedestrians, was a masterstroke, offering breathtaking views and turning the act of crossing the river into a public spectacle and a beloved civic experience. As the city expanded, it needed another kind of artery, one that ran underground. The opening of the Interborough Rapid Transit, or IRT, in 1904 was another transformative moment. The first subway line ran from City Hall up to 145th Street, and it changed everything. Suddenly, people could travel across the city faster than ever before. This wasn't just about transportation, it was about reshaping the city's geography. Neighborhoods that were once distant became accessible, sparking new development and demographic shifts. What's fascinating is the attention to detail in the early subway stations. The designers, Hines and Lafarge, didn't just create utilitarian tunnels, they created unique public spaces. Each station had its own distinct character, with intricate tilework and terracotta plaques designed by the Grubby Fayence Company. These plaques often depicted symbols related to the station's location. For example, the Astor Place station has beavers, a nod to the fortune John Jacob Astor made in the fur trade. Columbus Circle has a caravel, a ship used by Christopher Columbus. This wasn't just decoration, It was a form of wayfinding, helping passengers, many of whom were new immigrants and might not be literate, identify their stop. It turned the daily commute into a journey through a subterranean art gallery, embedding the city's history and identity right into its infrastructure. Over the decades, the subway's design philosophy evolved. The ornate Beaux-Arts style of the early IRT gave way to the more standardized, functional designs of the BMT and IND lines built later. The focus shifted from unique station identity to efficient system-wide coherence. But that initial vision of the subway as a grand public work set a precedent. Even today, as the MTA undertakes projects like the Second Avenue subway, we see a renewed interest in public art, with artists like Chuck Close and Sarah Shee creating large-scale installations that bring beauty and identity back to these vital public spaces. Jumping forward to the 20th and 21st centuries, New York's evolution is a story of constant reinvention, often driven by large-scale urban planning and rezoning. One of the most influential and controversial figures in this story is Robert Moses. From the 1930s to the 1960s, Moses wielded immense power as the city's master builder. He built highways, bridges, and public parks on an unprecedented scale. His vision was centered on the automobile, and projects like the Cross Bronx Expressway carved through existing neighborhoods, displacing thousands but also connecting the region in new ways. His work fundamentally reshaped the city's landscape, for better and for worse, and his legacy is still debated today. In more recent times, urban planning in New York has taken a different turn. There's been a shift away from the top-down, car-centric approach of the Moses era towards a more community-focused, sustainable model. A perfect example is the High Line. This was an abandoned, elevated freight rail line on Manhattan's West Side, slated for demolition, but a group of local residents saw its potential. They advocated for its preservation and transformation into a public park. Opened in 2009, the High Line is now one of the world's most innovative public spaces. It's a linear park, a park in the sky that weaves through buildings, offering unique perspectives of the city. Its success sparked a wave of adaptive reuse projects globally. This new wave of planning also includes major rezoning initiatives, like the ones in Hudson Yards and along the Brooklyn waterfront. These projects have transformed post-industrial wastelands into vibrant new neighborhoods with a mix of residential towers, commercial space, and, crucially, new public parks and plazas. These efforts are not without controversy, as they raise important questions about gentrification, affordability, and public access. But they show that the story of New York's public spaces is still being written. The city is a living laboratory for urban design, constantly grappling with how to balance growth with livability and how to create spaces that serve all New Yorkers. From the pastoral escape of Central Park to the engineered marvel of the Brooklyn Bridge, the artistic tunnels of the subway, and the repurposed greenway of the High Line, the public spaces of New York are more than just backdrops. They are the active agents of its history. They tell the story of a city that has always dared to dream big, to build bold, and to reinvent itself for the next generation. They are the places where millions of individual lives intersect, creating the shared experience that makes New York, New York. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the city's incredible public spaces. What's your favorite spot in New York? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world around us. See you next time.